It doesn't take long reading the book of Psalms to realise that it's not all songs of praise, but many of them are born out of experiences of life where there's opposition and hostility, trouble and distress. And turning to God in situations like this, cultivating a heart of wisdom. Some of the Psalms are wisdom psalms. Such a one is Psalm 37. It tells us that we should trust in the Lord and not fret because of evildoers, because they'll pass away. But if we commit ourselves to God, we will endure forever. That, in a nutshell, is the abiding message of Psalm 37. But it's not just coping mechanisms that the Psalms offer. It's godly alternatives to the way the world works. And in verse 4, it tells us that delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. When you want freedom from a confining situation that's frustrating and threatening, delight yourself in the Lord. Delight yourself. Like we saw David in a cave, delighting himself in God. Magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together in Psalm 34. Here, he's instructing us, delight yourself in the Lord. Many years ago, my first proper job, I worked for a bookshop in Bristol that was set up in 1834 by George Muller. And George Muller's autobiography, Delighted in God, is based upon this very verse. In fact, that was the verse that inspired him. Every morning, he said, before I do anything, before I read the Bible, before I get myself into prayer, and he, of course, was known as a man of prayer, he said, first of all, I want to delight in God. You just get before God and put your delight in him and do it. And then he will give you the desires of your heart, which may be freedom from a situation or answers to prayer. But the one abiding, overarching thing that God will give you, which is the desire of your heart, is himself. He will come to you and make himself known to you. Everything else will pass. We will pass and evildoers will pass. But if we trust in the Lord, our delight in him is not just momentary or even lifelong, but it's eternal. That is a great thing to stir us when we face the momentary hardships. No wonder Paul in the New Testament talks about these light and momentary trials that are working for us an eternal weight of glory that surpasses them all. That's the kind of balance to have. Put your roots in the joy of God. And if you can find first thing in the morning to delight in him, then the desires of your heart will fall into place.